walking for water. How one boy stood up for gender equality. Victor and his twin sister Nancy finished their morning chores and it was time to go. Bye, Mama. Chondana, Mama. How embarrassing, thought Victor. Mama didn't always need to remind them and all the neighbors that she loved him and his sister. She'd already kissed them each a dozen times that morning. Raise you, Victor and Nancy ran all the way to the kangaroo tree. At the tree, Nancy and her friend Anifa knocked the water bucket together in greeting and headed off to the riverbed. Victor felt a weird tug at his heart. It still felt strange to go to school without his sister. Come on, Chotis. But then Anifa's brother Chikodi yelled to Victor, who hurried to catch up, shooing the feeling away. Victor was glad when math time was over. Nothing could make him like doing calculation, but Victor did like his new teacher. Mr. Tambala let the class practice their vocabulary words by using them in silly sentences. This Ellen loved the taste of the roasted potato. The snack slid down the slippery slide. And now Mr. Tambala was using funny voices as he read all around to the class, something the old teacher never did. Victor turned to share a laugh with Nancy. But that's right, she wasn't there. Everyone in the village needed water for drinking, cooking and washing, but there wasn't a well. The women and all the girls fetched the water for their families from the river. That's how it had always been. So, when Victor and his sister had turned 8 a few weeks ago, just at the start of the school year, Nancy began the daily walks for water, giving Mama more time for the farming, watching Nancy strut around like she was all grown up. Victor had almost finished. He could to collect the water, but not anymore. Every day now, Nancy was missing school to collect water. 5 walks to the river and 5 walks home. Later in the afternoon, Mr. Tambala surprised the class with something new again, something the old teacher had never talked to them about. Equality means everyone, boys and girls, had the same rights. Boys and girls should also have the same opportunities. We'll be talking more about this in the days to come. But first, some homework. Look at your own lives. Think about whether boys and girls are treated equally. Of course we are. Disco Lavino class. And school was over for the day. Victor stopped and looked at all the girls in his class headed home to do chores But the boys, Victor, be on my team today. When Victor got home from playing, his sister was there helping Mama prepare the evening meal, and after they eat, Nancy cleaned up while he did homework. Tonight, that meant thinking about whether he and Nancy has equal opportunities. Well, I have lots of choice. I want a family of my own one day, but first I want to finish school. I could try to get a job here or in town. I could own a shop or drive a truck. Maybe I could be a teacher or a lover. But Nancy, already she isn't going to school anymore. Later that evening, Victor tried to show Nancy that she'd missed it in school that day, but he couldn't explain math in the clear way Mr. Tumblr did. And the next night, Nancy was too tired to even try to learn. Victor found himself thinking more about equality. In the morning, after Victor and Nancy raced each other to the catcher tree, Victor watched Nancy head off to the river. This wasn't equality. Definitely not. Nancy should get to keep learning and maybe become a teacher of a lover too, if she wanted. So that evening, Victor gathered his family. I have a plan. Victor, Nancy, and Mom talked for a long time, and by the end of the evening, they had all agreed to try Victor's idea. The next morning, the twins met their friends at the catcher tree as usual, but this time it was Nancy who headed down the path to school with Chicondi. Victor felt a different kind of tug at his heart. Now it felt strange to see his sister going to school without him. Well, come on, tortoise. Victor ran and joined the line of women and girls walking to the river. That day, it was Victor who walked back and forward to the river 5 times. The walk was long and the bucket was heavy. He got tired and bored. He even practiced math calculation in his head to pass the time. But he was proud to be helping his family and happy his sister was at school. Then the next day, it was Nancy's turn to work for the water and Victor's turn to go to school. Then the day after that, they switched again and again. The evening were different now too. One night, Victor will help Nancy keep up with the work she missed. The next night, Nancy helped Victor with his as well, just as Mr. Tumblr had promised. The classroom continued their talks about equality. And so, the very next week, there was another change. When the twins arrived at the catcher tree, they saw Chicondi, not Anifa, holding a water bucket. So many changes. and more coming, maybe Mr. Tambala giving extra classes, maybe a village will, but for sure more change to bring equality to boys and girls in the village. Victor was sure because he was determined to help make them happen. But that was for later. Right now, it was time to run all the way to the kachori tree. Raise you. The end.